I'm a doctor. You might have guessed that because I'm Indian. Anyway. But it's particularly relevant to what I'm going to say about belonging. I finished medical school in 1986, and like a lot of my classmates, although I graduated and here I was an official doctor, I still felt like an imposter. I still felt that, am I really a doctor? Do I really deserve to be a doctor? But, I didn't have the courage to actually face that. So I had to go looking for a job. And I lived in a place called Madras, and the job interview was in New Delhi, 1,500 miles away, so I took a train. So being a newly minted doctor, obviously I could travel only by third class in the Indian Railways, which is what I took, sitting among all of the ordinary folks, and it was time for lunch, and everybody ignored you. They all took out the lunch boxes and started to eat. And here I was sitting all alone, feeling sorry for myself. One of the things that the Indian Railway requires when you reserve a ticket is it says specifically, if you're a doctor, please state you're a doctor. If I were to fill up that form now, I would carefully avoid saying that I'm a doctor. But at that time, since I've newly graduated, I proudly wrote Dr. Pandu. And in India, they always call you by your first name, Dr. Pandu. And here I was sitting in the compartment, and suddenly there was this ticket checker who walked down the train calling out, "Where's Dr. Pandu? Where's Dr. Pandu?" And suddenly there was silence, and everybody became very alert. Who's this Dr. Pandu among us? And then I very, bravely raised my hand and said, "I'm here." And they said, "Do you mind coming with me, sir?" I said, "Sure." I felt very important, and then walked along with him. And we went right up to the end of the train. And even as I approached the end of the train, I knew there was something sinister and bad which was going to happen. And at the end of the train, propped up in the last seat in the train compartment, was this very old, wasted, it was a cadaver actually. It was an old man who had died. And as we came closer, the ticket checker turned to me and said, "Sir, we want your help in this case." So I thought he was going to ask me to find out what's going on. Then he deflated me by telling, "We actually know this person is dead." So then I looked at him and said, "What do you want me for?" He said, "Well, we want you to certify that he's dead, because if you don't certify that he's dead, we have to stop the train at the next station, take him out to the nearest railway hospital in an ambulance, get him certified there, and then bring him back to the train, and there's going to be a delay of 8 hours. And so I said, "Okay, that seems like a reasonable request. Can you get me a stethoscope?" So he looked at me and asked, "What is that?" I said, "Well, I need to check his heart." He said, "No, we don't have any of that here." So the closest thing I could get to certify that somebody had passed was to look at the pupil. So I said, "Okay, at least get me a flashlight." And so he readily ran and got a flashlight. And as you know, all the train ticket examiners in India, they carry a flashlight which is 5 feet long. So he got this huge flashlight, and I had to go back and shine it. And then, lo and behold, the pupils were dilated. And indeed, this poor chap had passed. And so they gave me the papers, and I certified him as dead. It was a very sad event, but I nonetheless did that. And it was with a sense of some accomplishment that I did that. And then I started walking back to my third class seat. By the time the word had spread that there is this doctor among our midst who actually certified a patient to have passed, And because of that, he saved us 8 hours of waiting. And then when I sat there, immediately everybody gathered around me and asked me where I was from. Do you want some food? Take this food. Take this coffee. Take this drink. And I became a hero. And it was at that time I suddenly realized who I was and what it meant to be a doctor. That despite doing something so intensely sad, despite doing something which should actually cause so much of grief, I yet managed to bring so much of comfort and stability to everybody else around me. And I felt really proud of being a doctor and felt I have arrived. Thank you.